you can learn from what they're doing or what they're not doing. They're saying always be open to be learning, and it's not always learning from those who are perceived as being higher up than you are. Those who are perhaps perceived as being at a lower level can also have a lot to teach us, because we all have, as you say, we all have different levels of experience, and it's bringing all of that together. So always be open to learning from anyone and everyone in every situation.
Absolutely. And to go back to something we covered a little bit earlier, I mentioned to you that I work in a school during term time. I work in a secondary school, so it's age 11 to 18. The stuff I learn from the kids on a daily basis is incredible, because they see the world from a different point of view to us jaded adults. And sometimes you take a step back, you listen to the way the kids are talking about something, you think, you know what? I'd never even thought about considering it from that point of view. And it gives you a whole new perspective. So now I never underestimate what young people can teach us, what people with less experience can teach us, because sometimes we just need to look at things slightly differently, look at things through a different lens.
Yep, that is so true. That is so true. That pretty much everything has an opportunity for us to learn something somewhere if we're open to it. You mentioned auditions. Now, I know for a lot of people, auditions can be a really daunting thing. How did you find the audition process, and what kind of advice would you offer to someone who's maybe a little bit apprehensive about being in an audition? Because basically with an audition, you're effectively standing up in front of people who you probably don't know, people who've been doing this stuff a lot longer, and saying, hey, I'm actually very good. And it's not always a comfortable place in which to be. What advice would you give to people in that situation?
Well, that's a tough one, because I'm a big wimp when it comes to auditions. I find them terrifying, absolutely terrifying. But I know from experience that when I have to go to an audition and sight read, so you perhaps get given a few lines as you're waiting to go in, and then you read off the script, invariably those are the parts I get. When it comes to learning a monologue, because I panic so much about it, not so much about my ability to deliver it, but I panic about whether I've picked the right monologue or not, those are the auditions I don't get, because I'm going in there thinking, oh my goodness, they're judging me on whether I've picked the right monologue, rather than think, this is my monologue, this is how I deliver it, they're just going to judge me on how I deliver it. And one of the best bits of advice I can give you for that would be, get an audition coach, somebody that can help you, is current, knows exactly what monologues are current, which ones have been overused, which ones might help to give you the edge, and that can work with you to really hone and define that. I did some work about 18 months ago with somebody on that, using a monologue that I had used from the professional production I was touring in. And they created it where it was very much a comedy. They turned it into a monologue which was full of pathos, full of emotion, and it was a completely different monologue to the one that I'd given within the context of the play. So having an extra set of eyes help you to deliver it, help you to work on it, really, really helps. And that's perhaps one of the best bits of advice I can give in terms of preparing for that sort of an audition. For a sight read, it's very much about reading intelligently, looking at what there is in the script that can give you those little hints as to how it should be delivered, reading the stage directions that go around it, looking at where the punctuation is, reading, sort of trying, if you can, to get a synopsis of the scene so you can understand the mood, understand the relationship of the characters, all those sorts of things, so that you can build the back picture before you've actually gone in. Now, that's a lot of information to try and glean in less than 5 minutes sometimes before you go into the audition. But the quicker you can learn to sight read and do that, the better. And one of the best ways is to just go and borrow plays from the library, borrow plays from various London libraries, or download them online, which you can do all over the place, and just pick a scene, look at it, test yourself and see, right, what's going on in this scene, and then go back and perhaps read the whole play to see how much you've picked up is correct. And that's something else I've done as well. And it's only through putting that time and effort in. Anything you want is worth doing well. And it's worth putting the time and effort into preparing, so that by the time it comes to auditioning, the prep you do sitting in that audition room before you go in, you've actually spent months or years preparing for. Because people make things look easy because of the amount of preparation they've put in beforehand that nobody else sees. And we all forget that. These overnight successes, yes, they might be an overnight success, but they've had 10 years of making sure they were an overnight success first. It's taken 10 years to become an overnight success. So never underestimate the power of good preparation. And it is remembering all of those techniques, remembering to breathe. It's warming up, doing a physical warm-up, a vocal warm-up. Do it in the car if you need to. Jog a bit if all you can do is jog a bit on the spot, it helps with your breathing. It will help loosen you up. It sort of gets you there, gets you in the moment, gets the adrenaline flowing. And then just before you go into the audition office, not the ante room, but the office, and say, I'm here for my audition, you take that deep breath, the adrenaline is pumping, your body is warm, your breath is starting to come through, you've opened up the airways, the lungs are open, and it will just help you to go into an environment. If you've got more room, you can do a full vocal, a full physical warm-up. But worst case scenario, a little bit of jogging on the spot before you go in, I find really helpful.
Nice. So again, it's all about preparation and putting in the groundwork. And the preparation and groundwork doesn't start when you turn up at the audition. It starts way, way, way beforehand. So the more you kind of practice these things, the more you develop these techniques, refine them, then by the time you reach the audition, it's becoming a lot more second nature to you, which enables you to then focus on what you need to be doing there rather than all the other stuff. So again, it's preparation.
Absolutely. You wouldn't go to opening night without a number of rehearsals beforehand, would you? So why would you go to an audition without preparing?
Beautiful. Now we're kind of running out of time here, so let's fast forward to now. So you had your first professional theatre tour, and that went so well that the director has now invited you to take part in their next production, which is coming up fairly soon. We're recording this at the beginning of August in 2018, so it's coming up later on this year. Is that right?
That's right, in November.
Excellent. So again, so that wasn't you reaching out to audition. That was them saying, "Hey, Deborah, you were great to work with last time. Do you want to come and audition for this one?"
Absolutely, and that goes back to what I've said pretty much all the way through this. It's about reputation, it's about behaviour. If you treat others how you want to be treated, you'll be invited back, and that's exactly what's happened. This has been almost a 5-year hiatus for me. I thought it was going to be at least another 3 years before I could start pursuing my acting again. I've got the option to do this now. Who knows where that will lead? I'm still involved in theatre networks in my area, but very much on a back step. Who knows, 2-3 years' time, I might be able to do a bit more work. That's certainly part of the plan. If it happens, great. If it takes a little longer, then so what? I've got the experience, I've got the equity card, I've got the Spotlight membership. Can't take that away from me. So I'll just keep pushing forward.
Beautiful. And I think the three biggest things that I've learned from our chat together is never stop learning. You can always learn from anyone and anything and any situation, anytime. So always be open to learning. practice. Know that everything that you're doing is building up towards a greater whatever you're heading towards. And focus on a solid reputation for dependability, delivering what's expected of you, so that people know that you are a safe pair of hands. They know that it's no risk to them to bring you on board. And to me, those are the three biggest things that I've kind of picked up from your journey, which have really helped bring you to where you are. Does that sound about right to you?
Yes, I'd say it does. Yeah, well summed up.
Thank you.
Gold star, top of the class.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you, Deborah. I've learned a lot. I mean, I summarised the three key things there, but there is so much more that I've learned from this, and I know there's a lot that our listeners will have learned from this. I know a lot of people are going to want to find out a bit more about Deborah and who you are and what you do. Where can they find more about you? Where's the best place?
I think the best place to find out more is my website, which is notarehearsal.co.uk. There's a lot of stuff on there. There's stuff that covers my coaching, my books. There's speaking on there. There'll also be details on there of where I'm acting and when. Few and far between, but it's all up there. It's all in the one place. Take a look.
Beautiful. So notarehearsal.co.uk to find out all about Deborah, where she's appearing, what she's doing, and all the other aspects of her life, as you say, the coaching, the two excellent books that you've written, 2 books so far. I have no doubt there will be more to come, and of course your upcoming acting performances as well. So notarehearsal.co.uk. Well, time is against us, Deborah, I'm afraid, but I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to be here. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed your time here too.
Very much so. Thank you, Keith.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. And I'm going to leave us all with Deborah's favorite quote, which is, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right.
You've been listening to the Confidence Alchemist radio show with your host, the Confidence Alchemist himself, Keith Blakemore Noble. To find out more, visit theconfidencealchemist.com.